I think when people watch it on TV, they think that it's just a rich man's sport and there's nothing else involved. But when people actually come into this side of the sport and they see, and it puts a lot of dollars back into the industry in New York, and we need to protect that.
Working here, it's given me a life and a sense of security for not only myself financially, but also to provide for my family. Ideally, I would love to have my career here.
I'm a single mom. I was able to raise my son and put him through college, and something I'm very proud of, and I couldn't do it without New York Racing.
In the backstretch, there is a community that surrounds the racetrack. People that work day in, day out, loving what they are doing.
I mean, there's electricians, there's plumbers, there's carpenters. There's all these men and women who do jobs every day.
One horse requires a hot walker, a groomer, a person who's going to walk them to the races, the people who take care of them every day. And we need all these people to take care of the horses and to continue moving forward in New York racing.
This job has given me not only hope for tomorrow, but has made so many of my wishes come true.
We're really real people back here working our butts off to make this happen. It's a commitment. There's a lot of people back here that depend on this place.
I had the opportunity to go back to school thanks to the jobs provided for us here.
Our industry is vital within this state.
We are New York Racing.
We are New York Horse Racing.
Jobs.
Opportunity.
Community.
We are New York Racing.
We are New York Horse Racing.
We are New York Racing.
Want to get your career in horse racing off to a fast start? Well, the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program is your winning ticket. The Racetrack Industry Program has served as a springboard to some of the industry's most successful individuals, with a proven track record of job placement right out of college. If you want to earn a degree in the exciting horse racing industry, the Racetrack Industry Program can put you in the winner's circle.
Horses coming onto the track here for today's first race. 6 furlongs is the distance. Scratch the 3. Start of the early pick 5. approaching the gate. Field set to load. It's post time for race 1. Start of the early pick 5. Three out. Ethel's Doctorate. Fancy Feline. You Should Be Dancing. Last to load to the outside. All in line. All set. And they're off. Speed from You Should Be Dancing, who is hard sent, and there's My Little Lulu. My Little Lulu to poke a nose in front and quickly tackled here by Bank Statement. It's Bank Statement up the backstretch to the inside pink sleeves. That's My Little Lulu with the wide and the blue silks. You Should Be Dancing. Dropping back a touch was Ethel's Doctorate. As off of that early action, then comes Fancy Feline, who's under a drive in the purple cap from 5th. Second to last, Barefoot Dancer, and far back right now is Flight Forward. 23.30. Pressured opening quarter here for Bank Statement. It's Bank Statement with a neck in front. You Should Be Dancing is right there, stalking from second. Dropping off of that pace was My Little Lulu. Losing ground, just got passed by Fancy Feline for third. Also rallying on is Ethel's Doctorate. Far back right now is Barefoot Dancer, and Flight Forward. Can still see them all as they're approaching the quarter-mile pole in hand. You Should Be Dancing. Manny Franco right to the outside. Awaiting a challenge here in the purple cap, Fancy Feline. Tips out 3 wide, had pace to chase, and Fancy Feline in the center of the racetrack is rolling now. Fancy Feline is the new leader. You Should Be Dancing back to second. Losing some ground, Bank Statement gets passed by Ethel's Doctorate for a final 1/8 of a mile. Fancy Feline is kicked clear. It's all Fancy Feline from just off the pace, and Fancy Feline is opening up through the stretch. Fancy Feline, Trevor McCarthy, they win the opener. You Should Be Dancing here for second. Ethel's Doctorate, and from far back, Flight Forward in 1 minute 14.22 seconds. Unofficial order of finish, first number 7, Fancy Feline. Second, the 8, You Should Be Dancing. Third, number 6, Ethel's Doctorate. Fourth, the 4, Flight Forward. 7, 8, 6, 4. Running time 1 minute 14.22 seconds. Winner of today's first is number 7, Fancy Feline. She's a 3-year-old, bred in New York by Flat Out of Follow the Kitten. Winning owner, Wind Horse Thoroughbreds, LLC. The owner is also bred the winner of today's first. Winning trainers, Jim Bond. Winning jockey, Trevor McCarthy. Seven, 8, 6, 4. It's official. Here's your prices. Winner returns 680, 280, 210. Second, number 8, You Should Be Dancing, 230, 210. Third, the 6, Ethel's Doctorate, 370. $1 exacta, 550. 50-cent trifecta, $8.90. 10-cent superfecta, 7864, $8.55. Final running time 1 minute 14.22 seconds. Coming up, today's second race, 21 minutes away. Scratch the 1, 2, and the 7. The 1A and the 2B both run. Start of the early pick 4 is next. Speed from You Should Be Dancing, who is hard sent, and there's My Little Lulu. My Little Lulu to poke a nose in front and quickly tackled here by Bank Statement. It's Bank Statement up the backstretch to the inside pink sleeves. That's My Little Lulu with the wide and the blue silks. You Should Be Dancing. Dropping back a touch was Ethel's Doctorate, is off of that early action. Then comes Fancy Feline, who's under a drive in the purple cap from 5th. Second to last, Barefoot Dancer, and far back right now is Flight Forward. 23.30. Pressured opening quarter here for Bank Statement. It's Bank Statement with a neck in front. You Should Be Dancing is right there, stalking from second. Dropping off of that pace was My Little Lulu. Losing ground, just got passed by Fancy Feline for third. Also rallying on is Ethel's Doctorate. Far back right now is Barefoot Dancer, and Flight Forward can still see them all as they're approaching the quarter-mile pole in hand. You Should Be Dancing. Manny Franco right to the outside, awaiting a challenge here in the purple cap. Fancy Feline tips out 3 wide, had pace to chase, and Fancy Feline in the center of the racetrack is rolling now. Fancy Feline is the new leader. You Should Be Dancing back to second, losing some ground. Bank Statement gets passed by Ethel's Doctorate for a final eighth of a mile. Fancy Feline is kicked clear. It's all Fancy Feline from just off the pace, and Fancy Feline is opening up through the stretch. Fancy Feline, Trevor McCarthy, they win the opener. You Should Be Dancing here for second. Ethel's Doctorate, and from far back, Flight Forward in 1 minute 14.22 seconds.
Introducing Adelphi Racing Club, the horse racing syndicate offering more than just fractional ownership. Enjoy the thrill of an interactive thoroughbred ownership experience competing at the sport's highest level. Attend events where you'll interact with top trainers, industry professionals, and club members. We've cheered on winners from coast to coast at top tracks such as Santa Anita and Saratoga.
And it will be Exotic West.
Become part of a group that celebrates success together. Visit AdelphiRacing.com and join the club today.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com.
Field coming onto the track here for today's second race. 6 furlongs is the distance. Start of the early pick 4. Scratch numbers 1, 2, and 7. Bends on the 1A, 2B, 3, 5, and 6. Approaching the gate. Field is set to load. It's post time for race 2. Start of the early pick 4. 2 out. Lady by Choice, Bay Jewel, last to load. All in line. All set. And they're off. Bay Jewel has speed, and there's Quality Stones. Quality Stones quickly up by 3/4 of a length. Down towards the inside is Big Al's Gal. Will secure that rail position and hold that spot is in second. Towards the outside comes Lady by Choice and also Bay Jewel. They're third and fourth. In a little tight as Customer Experience is way out in the center of the racetrack. There is Annika Gold is the trailer, but they're pretty tightly bunched. Quality Stones already being asked the question here into the far turn with less than a half mile to go. Too wide now as Big Al's Gal is trying to look for room. And actually here's Big Al's Gal ready to challenge this leader, is at the rail, tips down towards the inside, and Big Al's Gal and Quality Stones into that far turn. Customer Experience is out wider, also very wide. Bay Jewel, Lady by Choice, Annika Gold still at the back. 23.62 that opening quarter mile. They approach the quarter mile pole. Quality Stones is still there, but here comes Customer Experience. Customer Experience has the momentum out in the center of the racetrack. Quality Stones is down towards the inside. Losing ground was Big Al's Gal. From the back, Bay Jewel has got some run as well. Annika Gold is from the back of the pack, but it's still Customer Experience. A very game. Quality Stones is trying to come on back. Customer Experience got the right trip, and Customer Experience will draw away and get the victory. Quality Stones will hang on for second, then came an oncoming Annika Gold in 1 minute 11.83 seconds. Unofficial order finish. First, number 6, Customer Experience. Second, the 4, Quality Stones. Third, number 5, Annika Gold. Fourth, the 2B, Bay Jewel. 6, 4, 5, 2B. Hold all tickets until race 2's official. Winner is number 6, Customer Experience, a 4-year-old, bred in Kentucky by Cairo Prince out of Rico's Posse. Winning owner is Robert Durr. Winning trainer, Rob Atras. The winning jockey, Dylan Davis. Race 2 is official. Winner returns 310, 230, 210. Second, number 4, Quality Stones, $4, 260. Third, the 5, Anika Gold, $3.30. $1 exacta, $8 even. $1 double, $6.80. $1 Quinella, $4.95. The 50-cent trifecta, $22.37. 10-cent superfecta, $11.17. Final running time was 1 minute 11.83 seconds. Coming up, today's third race, 1 mile is the distance. Start of a pick 3. Race 3 is next. And they're off. Bay Jewel has speed, and there's Quality Stones. Quality Stones quickly up by 3/4 of a length. Down towards the inside is Big Al's Gal. Will secure that rail position and hold that spot is in second. Towards the outside comes Lady by Choice and also Bay Jewel. They're third and fourth. In a little tight as Customer Experience is way out in the center of the racetrack. There is Anika Gold is the trailer, but they're pretty tightly bunched. Quality Stones already being asked the question here into the far turn with less than a half mile to go. Too wide now as Big Al's Gal is trying to look for room. And actually here's Big Al's Gal ready to challenge this leader, is at the rail, tips down towards the inside, and Big Al's Gal and Quality Stones into that far turn. Customer Experience is out wider, also very wide. Bay Jewel, Lady by Choice, Anika Gold still at the back. 23.62 that opening quarter mile. They approach the quarter mile pole. Quality Stones is still there, but here comes Customer Experience. Customer Experience has the momentum out in the center of the racetrack. Quality Stones is down towards the inside. Losing ground was Big Al's Gal. From the back, Bay Jewel has got some run as well. Anika Gold is from the back of the pack, but it's still Customer Experience. A very game. Quality Stones is trying to come on back. Customer Experience got the right trip, and Customer Experience will draw away and get the victory. Quality Stones will hang on for second, then came an oncoming Anika Gold in 1 minute 11.83 seconds.
My dad loves the lottery. Growing up, he was always playing, so I had the idea to create an app that lets you play the lottery on your phone.
I think that was my idea.
It's called Jackpocket. It's like having a jackpot in your pocket.
I came up with that too.
Jackpocket allows you to play official lottery games on your phone. Just choose your game and pick your numbers.
I wasn't sold until I saw the actual ticket on my phone.
Was that your idea too, Dad?
Don't be a wise guy.
Go to jackpocket.com to get your first ticket free.
Resorts World Catskills, your closest casino resort experience, is so close. Stay the night and get your game on. Play live table games or thousands of slots. Resorts World Catskills.
Blood Horse Plus, available through bloodhorse.com, provides exclusive, timely, and unmatched content to subscribers, including Fox Sports, Blood Horse branded weekly programs, a detailed stakes winners section, behind-the-scenes videos from Blood Horse staff, on-demand access to deeper horse statistics, and a $5 monthly credit to equineline.com. Upgrade to Blood Horse Plus today.
Horses coming onto the track here for today's third race. 1 mile is the distance. Field of 7. Race 3 is next. The field is approaching the gate. Runners set to load. It's post time for race 3. Two out, Pendolino. Frost Me, last to load to the outside. All in line. All set. And they're off. Speed down towards the inside here from Honey Money. Also, we've got one that just stood in the gate there. Looks like Pendolino just stood in the gate at the start. So the field is getting set to come out of the chute. Making Sense has got the lead towards the outside. Here comes Frost Me. Also, there is Honey Money, who's in third. In between horses is a very tight hold here on Vienna Code. It's a slow, early pace. Orange Cap, that's Epona's Dream. Choose Happiness. And again, just standing in the gate at the start there was Pendolino at the start. They work up the backstretch. It's an easy lead right now. Making Sense has got a neck in front. Frost Me right towards the outside with Honey Money. Then comes Epona's Dream, who's got some forward momentum out in the center of the racetrack. Vienna Code and Choose Happiness. 25.33. That slow opening quarter mile. They passed the half-mile pole. They've got a half-mile left to go. 50.98 for that half-mile time. It's going to be a sprint for home here as Making Sense. Jorge Vargas Jr., they're up by a neck. Frost Me is watching from second. Epona's Dream senses the slow pace, is coming after the leaders now 3 wide. Vienna Code is trying to follow that move. Honey Money is losing some ground down towards the inside, and Choose Happiness is under a drive at the back of the field. They're approaching the quarter-mile pole. Making Sense has still got the lead. Here comes a challenge from Vienna Code, though, and Vienna Code swings out wide, and Vienna Code is your new leader. Vienna Code kicks for home, is up by 2. Following that move comes Choose Happiness from the back of the pack, and also Honey Money is now in the clear. 8 to go. Vienna Code is 3 in front. Honey Money down the center of the racetrack. Choose Happiness. Vienna Code is almost home, and Vienna Code will get the score. Vienna Code, then came Honey Money, Choose Happiness, and Making Sense in 1 minute, 40.65 seconds. Please note the inquiry sign will be posted. Taking a look at the start of today's third race involving the number 6 Pendolino. Winner is number 3, Vienna Code. Second, the 2, Honey Money. Third, number 1, Choose Happiness. Fourth, number 4, Making Sense. 3, 2, 1, 4, your unofficial order of finish in race 3. Hold all tickets until race 3's official. Running time, 1 minute 40.65 seconds. Steward's inquiry, sign is posted. Hold all tickets. Inquiry sign taken down. Stewards will take no action here in today's third. No action taken in today's third race. Winner is the 3 Vienna Code. She's a 4-year-old, bred in New York by Fast Anna out of Encryption Code. Winning owners, Andrew Williams and Lennox Innes. Winning trainer is Andrew Williams. The winning jockey, Eric Cancel. Winner is bred in New York by Joan Wilmarth and Anthony Gray, LLC. Race 3 is official. Winner returns $6, $360, $270. Second number 2, Honey Money, $460, $290. Third number 1, Choose Happiness, $470, $1 exacta, $11.70. Dollar double, $6.80, 50-cent trifecta, $45, 12 cents. 10-cent superfecta, $42, 20 cents. The $1 pick 3, $34.75. Final running time, 1 minute 40.65 in today's third. Coming up, today's fourth race. Race 4, scratch the 1. It's the start of the pick 6. Today's fourth, scratch the 1. Race 5, scratch the 1A. Number 2 is 1 pound over. Rider change on the 7, Trevor McCarthy. Scratch numbers 13 and 14 in today's fifth. Race 6, no changes. Start of the late pick 4. Race 7, scratch number 5, Wonder Where Craig Is. Race 8, rider change on the 5, Trevor McCarthy. Race 9, number 3 is 1 pound over. Scratch the 10, Rush to Honor. Rider change on the 11, make it He-Man Harkey. Race 4, start of the pick 6 is next. speed down towards the inside here from Honey Money. Also, we've got one that just stood in the gate there. Looks like Pendolino just stood in the gate at the start. The field is getting set to come out of the chute. Making Sense has got the lead. Towards the outside, here comes Frost Me. Also, there is Honey Money, who's in third. In between horses is a very tight hold here on Vienna Code. It's a slow, early pace. Orange Cap, that's Epona's Dream. Choose Happiness. And again, just standing in the gate at the start there was Pendolino at the start. They work up the backstretch. It's an easy lead right now. Making Sense has got a neck in front. Frost Me right towards the outside with Honey Money. Then comes Epona's Dream, who's got some forward momentum out in the center of the racetrack. Vienna Code and Choose Happiness. 25.33, that slow opening quarter mile. They passed the half-mile pole. They've got a half-mile left to go. 50.98 for that half-mile time. It's going to be a sprint for home here as Making Sense. Jorge Vargas Jr., they're up by a neck. Frost Me is watching from second. Epona's Dream senses a slow pace, is coming after the leaders now 3 wide. Vienna Code is trying to follow that move. Honey Money is losing some ground down towards the inside, and Choose Happiness is under a drive at the back of the field. They're approaching the quarter-mile pole. Making Sense has still got the lead. Here comes the challenge from Vienna Code, though, and Vienna Code swings out wide, and Vienna Code is your new leader. Vienna Code kicks for home, is up by 2. Following that move comes Choose Happiness from the back of the pack, and also Honey Money is now in the clear. 8 to go. Vienna Code is 3 in front. Honey Money down the center of the racetrack. Choose Happiness. Vienna Code is almost home, and Vienna Code will get the score. Vienna Code, then came Honey Money, Choose Happiness, and Making Sense in 1 minute, 40.65 seconds.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. Use promo code TRYRTN for a 5-day free trial.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com.
Backstretch workers are the backbone of the thoroughbred racing industry. Without them, racing would not be possible. The New York Racetrack chaplaincy provides vital programs and services to all the workers and their families, like Sponsor a Family, the food pantry, as well as other recreational activities and events. You can help by visiting our website and donating today. Every dollar makes a difference to those who give everything to the sport that we love.
Horses coming onto the track for today's fourth race. Start of the pick 6. Scratch the 1. Infringement. Bends on the 2, 3, 5, and 6. The field is approaching the gate. Field begins to load. It's post time for race 4. Start of the pick 6. Alpine Queen, Raffinity. Lenny Kate to the outside. All in line. All set. And they're off. Raffinity's got speed from in between horses. Down towards the inside, Stormy Cat Lady gets passed by April Antics. Creative Legacy is hustled along towards the outside. As also in the early mix will be Freddie Mo Factor. They really line up. On the far outside is Alpine Queen as they get set to come out of the chute. Raffinity has got a nose in front. Creative Legacy 3 wide is in second. Then comes Alpine Queen. Backing off the pace a little is Freddie Mo Factor is back to fourth. Lenny Kate is in those blue silks following them in fifth. April Antics is in sixth at the rail, second to last. That's Game Theory. The trailer, Stormy, Cat Lady, Raffinity is in front, is up by a full length. Alpine Queen to the outside of Creative Legacy from in between horses. Freddie Mo Factor will need room at the rail in fourth. Lenny Kate has got a wide rally here from fifth. That's the leading 5 as they approach that half-mile pole. April Antics, second to last, still Game Theory. Stormy, Cat Lady is the trailer, 48.92 for the half-mile time. Raffinity trying to take them all the way. Here comes Alpine Queen, and Alpine Queen is ready to take the front. Raffinity battles on towards the inside. Trying to get off the rail there is Freddie Mo Factor, is looking for some clear running room. Lenny Kate, that drive is stalling just a touch up on the outside. Now dropping down is April Antics, who's taken fifth. Is 3.5 off the lead as they reach the top of the stretch. It's Alpine Queen. Alpine Queen has got the lead. Freddie Mo Factor now in the clear. Down towards the inside, Raffinity battles on Lenny Kate and April Antics from far, far back. They line up across the track. It's still Alpine Queen in front. Final 8 to go. Alpine Queen going to have to hold off an oncoming April Antics and Freddie Mo Factor from in between horses. Alpine Queen is almost there. Freddie Mo Factor, one final push. Alpine Queen, Freddie Mo Factor. Looked like Alpine Queen just holds on over Freddie Mo Factor in a photo. Then came April Antics and Lenny Kate in 1 minute 40.91 seconds. Order finish, first number 7, Alpine Queen. Second, the 1A, Freddie Mo Factor. Third, number 2, April Antics. Fourth, number 8, Lenny Kate. 7, 1A, 2, 8. Running time 1 minute 40.91. Winner is number 7, Alpine Queen. She's a 3-year-old, bred in Kentucky by Reload out of Lotta Sense. Winning owners, 10 Strike Racing and Corey Mollis Racing, LLC. Winning trainer, Michelle Giangulio. The winning rider, Jorge Vargas Jr. Race official. Winner returns 940, 470, 330. Second, the 1A, Freddie Mo Factor, 420, 330. Third, number 2, April Antics, 730. $1 exacta, $16.50. $1 double, $15.20. $1 Quinella, $8.80. The 50-cent trifecta, $82 even. 10-cent superfecta, $59.35. $1 pick 3, $26.25. Final running time, 1 minute 40.91. Coming up will be today's 5th race. Race 5 is next. Scratch the 1A, 13, and 14. 7 furlong. Start of the late pick 5 is next. And they're off. Raffinity's got speed from in between horses. Down towards the inside, Stormy Cat Lady gets passed by April Antics. Creative Legacy is hustled along towards the outside. As also in the early mix will be Freddie Mo Factor. They really line up. On the far outside is Alpine Queen as they get set to come out of the chute. Raffinity has got a nose in front. Creative Legacy 3 wide is in second. Then comes Alpine Queen. Backing off the pace a little is Freddie Mo Factor is back to 4th. Lenny Kate is in those blue silks following them in 5th. April Antics is in 6th at the rail, second to last. That's Game Theory. The trailer, Stormy, Cat Lady, Raffinity is in front, is up by a full length. Alpine Queen to the outside of Creative Legacy from in between horses. Freddie Mo Factor will need room at the rail in 4th. Lenny Kate has got a wide rally here from 5th. That's the leading 5 as they approach that half-mile pole. April Antics, second to last, still Game Theory. Stormy, Cat Lady is the trailer, 48.92 for the half-mile time. Raffinity trying to take them all the way. Here comes Alpine Queen, and Alpine Queen is ready to take the front. Raffinity battles on towards the inside. Trying to get off the rail there is Freddie Mo Factor is looking for some clear running room. Lenny Kate, that drive is stalling just a touch up on the outside. Now dropping down is April Antics, who's taken 5th. Is 3.5 off the lead as they reach the top of the stretch. It's Alpine Queen. Alpine Queen has got the lead. Freddie Mo Factor now in the clear. Down towards the inside, Raffinity battles on Lenny Kate and April Antics from far, far back. They line up across the track. It's still Alpine Queen in front. Final 8th to go. Alpine Queen going to have to hold off an oncoming April Antics and Freddie Mo Factor from in between horses. Alpine Queen is almost there. Freddie Mo Factor, one final push. Alpine Queen, Freddie Mo Factor. Looked like Alpine Queen just holds on over Freddie Mo Factor in a photo. Then came April Antics and Lenny Kate in 1 minute 40.91 seconds.
Nobody wants to fall into a safety net, but when adversity or hardship presents itself, it beats the alternative. Since 1943, the Jockey Club Safety Net Foundation has been serving those individuals and families in need across every facet of the thoroughbred industry. Help us continue to be the safety net and catch those most in need. Visit tjcfoundation.org to learn more.
Resorts World New York City, where New Yorkers play. 6,500 slots. Stay and play. Resorts World New York City.
Ladies and gentlemen, please note, in today's fifth race, number 2 is now +3. +3 on the 2 in today's fifth.
Alpine Queen for Michelle Giangiulio. Well, she's gone 3 for 3 at this Aqueduct meeting. Congratulations to her and 10 Strike Racing. And Jorge Vargas with his second win on the card, riding very well here. As we'll move on to this 5th race, it does kick off the late pick 5 maidens on the main track, going the 7 furlongs. And we'll start by looking at a horse or a few horses that have experience. And you can tell by the board that this race is wide open, as your tepid choice is number 9 in here. I'll go all in. I guess people riding the wave, that is Juan Vasquez at the moment. Okay, fine. But this horse has done little running in her 2 dirt efforts. I know one was at a mile over a sloppy track, but again, she ran 2nd that day. It's a very slow figure. She looks more like a turf horse. You can have her at a short price. She's not for me. As we'll take a look at some horses coming out of what I think is a stronger race, in which Yo Cuz, who came back and won the New York Stallion Series, the 5th Avenue division yesterday, comes out of 2, and finishing just in front of her is number 3, Valeluya. I don't know why I can never say that name. She does add blinkers, and this is a filly that has progressively gotten more professional in the preliminaries leading into her races, and I think that with the blinkers on, because she was kind of ducking in and out of horses last time out, that she'll be more forwardly placed, she'll be more professional and run hopefully in a straighter line. Like I said, I think, you know, she's faced some better company. She actually did some running in her last race, and I think she is just gaining a lot from the experience each and every time. Then Temperamental, she'll go out for Jeremiah Engelhardt, and that was a full field that day of 12 horses coming out of that Sterling Silver race, in which she took some money in that debut. Now, she did not do any running whatsoever, as they do add just a shortcut cheater blinker on her. She's athletic. She was a little bad to get the tack on today, but they did her on the walk outside the stalls, and it worked quite nicely. Honestly, she looks much the same as what she did. I'm hoping that those blinkers change things around and that she gained some experience from that first effort. And sometimes where there's a little smoke, sometimes there's a little fire in their subsequent starts as far as the board is concerned. Let's take a look at some first-time starters. Number 4, Over the Sand for Mark Hennig, a daughter of Overanalyzed, like the 7 furlongs for her first time out, despite having some good dirt sprinters on the bottom, including Stoney Bennett and Bustin' Papa Smooth. So she looks physically well suited to the 7-8. Seems fit enough, though she might need to strengthen. I like the way she's put together here in the paddock. And then looking at number 6, that is Hava Nagila Hava. She is beautiful. She is wearing blinkers in this debut. She's beautifully put together, less long and scopy until you start looking down. And it's evident that she's pretty crooked, so she's wearing the front wraps here first time out, though she is very well prepared from the mental and physical side of things. I think the 7 furlongs, again, too, suits her well. Now, number 8 is Can't Fool Me, a daughter of Frost Giant, half to a turf horse, Happy Hill Lil. She looks quick, and she's acting quick. She's very sharp in here, if not very green, too. And I don't like the 7 furlongs for her first time out. I think she looks distance challenged at best here. She is kind of the firster I didn't love, but again, goes out for Dangerous Connections and Horacio de Paz. 2 minutes to post here to today's 5th race, kicking off this late pick 5.
Horses on the track here for today's 5th race. 7 furlongs of distance. Start of the late pick 5. Scratch the 1, 8, 13, and 14. Bends on the 7 and the 10. The field is approaching the gate. The field is at the gate. It's post time for race 5. Two out. Hava Nagila Hava. Raining Chick to the outside. Raining Chick last to load. All in line. All set. And they're off. Very bad stumble there for My Cara Mia Mine, who's now at the back of the field. Regal Rebels got early speed. Temperamental is in the early fray as well. Down towards the inside is Over the Sand. That's the front three. I'll Go All In is now taking the 4th spot with the wide. Kisses for Emily in 5th. Out in the center of the racetrack is Raining Chick. That one's in 6th. That one comes in mid-mon in the red cap. To the inside of that one is Hallelujah. Miss Malala, Hava Nagila Hava. Towards the back is Can't Fool Me. And after the start, My Cara Mia Mine is the trailer. Regal Rebels got the lead. Regal Rebel is up by a full length. Temperamental is right there in second. Losing some ground there was Kisses for Emily. Also dropping back was I'll Go All In. Raining Chick is ranging up 4 wide, is taking the 4th spot. Down to the inside in 5th is Over the Sand. I'll Go All In is trying to re-rally there from that 6th position now. Also under a drive is Hallelujah. Mid-Mon, Miss Malala is under a drive. My Cara Mia Mine, Hava Nagila Hava, and Can't Fool Me is at the back of the field. 4 across the racetrack, holding the rail position here is Regal Rebel, who's under a drive. Temperamental and a wide rally from Raining Chick. Raining Chick will have the lead at the top of the stretch, and here's Raining Chick, who kicks for home, is up by 2. They went a half mile in 48.41. It is all Raining Chick who is pouring it on now in the stretch. Raining Chick is opening up, still chasing here from second. That's Temperamental. From the back of the pack, Hallelujah's got a late rally as well, but Raining Chick inside the final 16th was wide, but Raining Chick, much the best, geared down and gets the victory. It's Raining Chick, then comes Temperamental, Kisses for Emily, and Hallelujah in 1 minute, 27.32 seconds. Order finish, first number 12, Raining Chick. Second, the 7, Temperamental. Third, number 11, Kisses for Emily. Fourth, number 3, Hallelujah. 12-7, 11-3, your order finish. Hold all tickets until race 5's official running time. 1 minute 27.32 seconds. Winner is the 12, Raining Chick. She's a 2-year-old, bred in New York by Sky Kingdom out of Bet on a Chick. Winning owners, Noda Brothers, LLC, WLIR Racing Stables, Final Turn Racing Stable, LLC. Winning trainers, Orlando Noda. The winning jockey, Kendra Carmouche. Winner was bred in New York by Windhorse Thoroughbreds, LLC. That's a second win for the breeders. Right here in New York on today's Sunday afternoon card. Race 5 is official. Winner returns $34.40, $17.20, $12. Second, the 7, Temperamental, $8.80, $6.10. Third, number 11, Kisses for Emily, $5.50. $1 exacta, $168 even. $1 double, $118 even. 50-cent trifecta, $468 even. The 10-cent superfecta, $594.55. $1 pick 3, 3, 7, 12, $315.50. 50-cent pick 4, return $254.50. Early pick 5, return $1,465 even. Final running time, 1 minute 27.32 seconds. Coming up is today's 6th race. 1 mile is the distance. It's the start of the late pick 4. Race 6 is next. And they're off. Very bad stumble there for My Cara Mia Mine, who's now at the back of the field. Regal Rebels got early speed. Temperamental is in the early fray as well. Down towards the inside is Over the Sand. That's the front 3. I'll Go All In is now taking the 4th spot with the wide. Kisses for Emily in 5th. Out in the center of the racetrack is Raining Chick. That one's in 6th. That one comes in mid-mon in the red cap. To the inside of that one is Hallelujah. Miss Malala, Hava Nagila Hava towards the back is Can't Fool Me. And after the start, My Cara Mia Mine is the trailer. Regal Rebels got the lead. Regal Rebel is up by a full length. Temperamental is right there in second. Losing some ground there was Kisses for Emily. Also dropping back was I'll Go All In. Raining Chick is ranging up 4 wide, is taking the 4th spot. Down to the inside in 5th is Over the Sand. I'll Go All In is trying to re-rally there from that 6th position now. Also under a drive is Hallelujah. Mid-Mon, Miss Malala is under a drive. My Cara Mia Mine, Hava Nagila Hava, and Can't Fool Me is at the back of the field. 4 across the racetrack, holding the rail position here is Regal Rebel, who's under a drive. Temperamental and a wide rally from Raining Chick. Raining Chick will have the lead at the top of the stretch, and here's Raining Chick, who kicks for home, is up by 2. They went a half mile in 48.41. It is all Raining Chick who is pouring it on now in the stretch. Raining Chick is opening up, still chasing here from second. That's Temperamental. From the back of the pack, Hallelujah's got a late rally as well, but Raining Chick inside the final 16th was wide, but Raining Chick, much the best, geared down and gets the victory. It's Raining Chick, then comes Temperamental, Kisses for Emily, and Hallelujah in 1 minute 27.32 seconds.
Smile Happy was a TDN rising star following his maiden win at Keeneland. From there, he captured the Grade 2 Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes to remain undefeated and earning points toward the Kentucky Derby. In future Pool 1, Smile Happy was individual leader by lowest odds. Among the top of his crop by stakes winners and earnings, Run Happy continues his rise and is priced for success. Call today and book your mare to Red Hot Sire Run Happy, standing in legendary Stall 1 at Claiborne Farm.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit nairabets.com.
Happy holidays from the Big A. Aqueduct Racetrack in South Ozone Park, New York, winding down week 2 of the winter meet. And we'll do so with a pair of stakes races. First, the Gravesend, where the heavy morning line favorite has defected, aptly named Wonder Where Craig Is, will not run. So now we turn our attention to Jackson Traveler, Maryland-bred, 3-time stakes winner. Sure, his trainer has made history this summer. Steve Asmussen, North America's all-time leader. Now trying to set the all-time single-season earnings record, but he has company. In Hot Springs, Arkansas, Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort. Remember this colt? Caddo River, hot on the Kentucky Derby Trail last spring until he wasn't. Missed the Derby with an illness and only raced once since. Today, Caddo River returns. Trained by Brad Cox, also with his sights set on the single-season earnings record. So glad you could join us on America's Day at the Races. As always, brought to you in part by America's Best Racing. For the love of the race, visit americasbestracing.net today. Hard-working crew you saw there taking a breather in between races here at Aqueduct on a blustery Sunday afternoon. He is champion jockey Richie Migliori. I'm Lafitte Pinkai. We are about 40 minutes away from the first of 2 stakes races here at Aqueduct. It is the Gravesend. A Gravesend that looks a lot different than it did about 24 hours ago, Richie. The heavy morning line favorite, Wonder Where Craig is out, defected. What exactly transpired this morning?
Yeah, well, he came down over the last few days with a quarter crack. He had a bit of an abscess in his foot, which came out an infection. I spoke with the trainer, Brittany Russell, earlier today. She said he was actually very sound this morning. It was just something that they couldn't, go ahead and, with a good conscience, make him race on a foot that was a little bit on the sore side. The welfare of the horse is always first and foremost above anything else. But I asked her, will we be seeing him later on in the winter at this Aqueduct meeting? And seemed pretty confident that we will be seeing him at some juncture during this winter meet at Aqueduct. And it just was a minor thing, just bad timing.
Bad timing, and certainly frustrating. Would have been the odds-on choice for the Gravesend. So now we have a field of 5. Looks like this for the Gravesend. Older horses sprinting 3/4 of a mile, $100,000 purse. And now Jackson Traveler, the default morning line favorite at 7-2, Richie. So even though we have a smaller field and we don't have Wonder Where Craig is, perhaps a more competitive Gravesend.
Well, I do think it's a more competitive Gravesend. Jackson Traveler has speed and he has the rail. I think that simplifies things. It means you have to go forward and try to maintain your inside position. The 6 Chateau is probably most aided by the scratch of Wonder Where Craig is, because he looks like he should be loose on the lead if he can outrun Jackson Traveler.
Much more on the Gravesend, 63rd running, race 7, post time 3:09 Eastern. Meantime, today's schedule brought to you by Claiborne Farm, late pick 4, Aqueduct, including the Gravesend, and Queens County. Races 4 through 9 at Oaklawn. Feature race is the 8th, marking the return of Caddo River. Fast track at Aqueduct, good track at Oaklawn in Hot Springs, Arkansas. As fun as it is to watch the races, so much more fun to watch and wager. Join Naira Bets today. New members use promo code BONUS200 when signing up and earn up to a $200 deposit match after the first deposit. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Join now at nairabets.com to earn your $200 deposit match. Field for the first live race of our broadcast, 6-race Aqueduct, New York Breds, $62,500 allowance, optional claiming event, 1 mile. Amelia's Moon, number 4, the 9-5 favorite with 5 minutes to post. As we say hello to Maggie Wolfendale, standing by with this race 6 Paddock report. Hey, Maggie.
Hey, Lafitte. Well, as you can tell by my hair, it's a little breezy down here and a little bit chilly. And when it gets chilly here at Aqueduct, well, that makes the track a little bit on the slower side. And with watching the first 5 races here at the Big A, I think you really want to be outside. Those outside running paths are a premium today. So this is a short field. We'll see how things play out. But let's check in with number 4, your current favorite. That is Amelia's Moon. I thought she had some excuses in her last 2 races, kind of restrained back off of a pace that was slow. 2 starts ago at Keeneland, and then last time they put her in and immediately sprung the latch. So she took a right-hand turn with those blinkers being on for the first time. She wears just a shortcut blinker. This is actually weirdly the first time I'm seeing her. I must admit, I'm a little bit on the lackluster side as far as looking at her, but I get on form why she can win. Number 3 in here is Pioneer of the Sky. She cost over $1 million. I see why. She's gorgeous, but she's going to have to improve here after those blowout wins at Finger Lakes against far inferior.
And Meg, you don't see that too often. 2 races in France, 2 races at Finger Lakes, Pioneer of the Sky. Another look at her in the post parade. We start with Hybrid Eclipse. Exits the grade 3 calmly, where she was overmatched.
Yeah, a little bit of a tough spot for her last time. I think Maggie makes a great point, though. She has the rail. She's got to get off the rail. It looks like it's not the place you want to be today.
Halo City, 4-time winner each of those at Aqueduct.
Came back on very short turnaround last time, won on a 5-day rest. She's a deep closer.
Pioneer of the Sky, Dylan Davis, Christophe Clement.
Has been running against inferior competition up at Finger Lakes, but has really devastated them. Maybe she does have a step forward.
Amelia's Moon. Maggie didn't love what she saw. Aggressive warm-up here.
Yeah, it looks good on the racetrack, though. Sometimes horses look one way in the paddock. They change on the track, but she is definitely a contender off her form.
Maiden Beauty, 6 of her 7 lifetime wins at this mile distance.
I think she's going to appreciate getting back to the mile distance. I don't think she liked the slop last time. She's a major player.
Battle Bling, number 6, 14-1.
Yeah, last time seen on dirt track was in the slot at Saratoga. It was a very good race. That race would make her a contender here.
Trevor McCarthy aboard. Battle Bling pictured on the outside. Contender number 7, Vegas Weekend, like Hybrid Eclipse, exits the Grade 3 Conley.
Yeah, and another one. She attended the pace that day. She was in front of Battle Bling by 3/4 of a length when they last met in Saratoga, albeit on a sloppy surface.
Field for the 6th at Aqueduct. Start of the late pick 4 in 2 minutes. Let's see what the 2015 National Handicapping Championship Tour winner thinks about this 6 at the Big A. JK, which of these fillies gets their picture taken in a couple of minutes?
Now, look, I think it's going to be one of the 2 favorites if I was a wagering man. So happens that I am. The 5, Maiden Beauty. This is a horse that, if you look at her race a couple back, she ran extremely well that day. She was able to make the front. And some might even argue that it was kind of a soft trip. She made the front pretty easily. She went on with it pretty easily after that. And sometimes you might want to downgrade a horse off of a performance like that. But luckily, the price is a little bit more honest because she kind of had that clunker in between where she ran 6th back at Belmont. The thing about that day is that on that day, she ran without Lasix. And now she's getting Lasix back again. So I'm hopeful that that could be helpful for her. The pace was honest in there. She was close to it. So I do believe she's going to run well. And one of my favorite things to see when I have a horse who I want to be forward is my man Kendrick Carmouche on board. And here's the thing about Kendrick. Yes, he is an outstanding speed rider, but that's not all he can do well, and I think a lot of times people associate him with just being speed. I would think that would be a big mistake if that was your generalization. The 4, also Amelia's Moon, another one that I thought was interesting, one of my favorite angles in racing, closing into a slow pace. But my other favorite angle in racing is, who does Maggie Wolfendale like?
Thanks, JK. And yes, I didn't love her in the paddock, but as Meg pointed out, she did warm up really nice, and a very exuberant warm up she did receive from Jose Ortiz. I'm sure kind of having in the back of his mind, well, I don't want what happened last time to occur here at the Big A, in which she just got away slowly and ducked out. And you know, in those races, she has been well into the bridle despite not being on the front end. So I think maybe they've learned from those efforts in that she actually does want to be a little bit more forwardly placed and maybe not restrained as much. As we'll take a look at number 7 on the outside. That's Vegas Weekend. Now, when I originally looked at this race, I thought our track would have some moisture since we got more rain overnight, but obviously not that much here at Aqueduct in South Ozone Park, Queens. I like this filly. I like her as an individual. I do think she's better on a wet track. For whatever reason, she's run her faster races on sealed tracks. She looks like it because she has just that more kind of cuppy foot, more narrow type of configuration to her foot, which gets well over the track. But she's a Rob Atras trainee. I thought last time really kind of strangled back off the pace. She kind of fought the rider for the first half mile, and when that happens, they usually don't have anything left in the tank, and that's exactly what happened in the Grade 3 Conley. She gets a little class relief here. I do like what I'm seeing from Vegas Weekend, guys.
So, Richie, what do you think Manny Franco does here with Vegas Weekend leaving the gate?
Well, I think having the outside post gives him the privilege of being able to just break and put his hands down, not grab her, not send her, just allow her to kind of run into the bridle and find her stride. I love outside posts in these elongated one-turn races. You've got almost a half a mile to the far turn. You're not in any big hurry for the race to take shape and drop in and save ground. You're on a straightaway for a long ways.
See the selections. Maggie going with Vegas Weekend. Richie, JK with Amelia's Moon. Number 5, Maiden Beauty, the favorite. Amelia's Moon, Jose Ortiz, Bill Mott, world-class connections. Want to combine 5 races here yesterday.
Yeah, and Jose Ortiz looking to pass his brother for all-around leading rider on the NYRA circuit this year if you combine all the meets together. I just thought this filly had such compromising trips her last few times. You know, impossible trip at Keeneland where she was wide under stout restraint, then last time ducking out at the break. I think with a clean trip, she's going to be very tough here. Maiden Beauty also makes a lot of sense. I think she's getting back to what she really wants to do, and she's going to be forwardly placed. About Kendrick Carmouche, and what Jonathan said is 1,000,000% correct. He's such a good rider because he's a chameleon, meaning he fits the horses he rides. He fits their style, not the other way around.
See how he fits with Maiden Beauty here. He has won on her before, and Maiden Beauty, this is what she does at her very best at this distance, looking for a 7th career win at the mile distance. Vegas Weekend steps forward. Chris Griffin with the call. Start of the late pick 4, post time, race 6, live, Aqueduct.
All set. And they're off. Slow start for Amelia's Moon from in between horses at the back of the field. Maiden Beauty has asked for speed. It's Maiden Beauty right out to the front with Pioneer of the Sky. That's the clear 1-2 in here. As Hybrid Eclipse is trying to make up some ground at the rail, has taken that third position with Vegas Weekend, who's actually going to secure that third position as they come out of the chute. That's the leading four. They're 2 clear from Battle Bling. Then Halo City and Amelia's Moon is at the back of the field, pretty strung out as they get set to work up the backstretch, and it's Maiden Beauty. Kendra Carmouche, they're up by a full length. Pioneer of the Sky is now into the 2-path, is watching from second. Hybrid Eclipse at the rail in third. Vegas Weekend is in the 4th spot, then comes Halo City in 5th. Battle Bling is in the 6th position, 3 off the lead. Gap of 5. Back to Amelia's Moon at the back of the field. They approach that half-mile pole. Maiden Beauty at 3-2 has got the lead. Went 48.35 for a half-mile time. Maiden Beauty, Pioneer of the Sky, starts to get closer. Also, Vegas Weekend is rallying on 4 wide. Hybrid Eclipse is now under a drive there at the rail, trying to make up some ground. Halo City and Battle Bling, they're tightly bunched as they approach the quarter-mile pole. Amelia's Moon has trailed throughout. They are approaching that quarter-mile pole. Maiden Beauty has still got a neck in front. There's room at the rail for Hybrid Eclipse, who's ready to pounce in. Vegas Weekend is 3 wide. Top of the stretch, it's Maiden Beauty still fending him off, is up by a full length. Hybrid Eclipse, and now here's Battle Bling. Battle Bling out in the center of the racetrack is coming after this leader for a final 1/8 of a mile. Battle Bling in a very game Maiden Beauty. Battle Bling to the outside of Maiden Beauty. Final 16th. Battle Bling is trying to push on by. Maiden Beauty is resilient. Maiden Beauty did it. Maiden Beauty holds on. Then Battle Bling. Hybrid Eclipse and Vegas Weekend in 1 minute 38.57 seconds.
Tough as nails. Maiden Beauty, the favorite. Kendrick Carmouche cruising in front. And just about now, Battle Bling finding her best stride in a thrilling stretch duel in the 6th race at Aqueduct.
Yeah, crafty ride by Kendrick Carmouche on the 5 Maiden Beauty. He was on the lead, but he never went all the way to the rail. You saw he left space inside of him, being aware that maybe the rail isn't exactly where you want to be. He's going to go to a left-handed crop here, keeping her a little bit removed from the rail. Here comes the run from the 6 Battle Bling. Trevor McCarthy produced her at the right moment. Looked like he had dead aim, but Maiden Beauty felt the challenge and responded to it and went on. It looked like they could have went around again. She was never going to let her go by.
Robert Falcone had her ready. 7th career win at the mile distance. Carmouche goes to work left-handed. And yeah, right about here, it looks like Battle Bling has her measure. Maiden Beauty had other ideas.
Yeah, she just did not want to be passed. She's a Hickory mare, her 8th career victory. Trevor McCarthy did everything right, had dead aim, but your best riders also, not only do they know or aware of where they should be on a racetrack, they always have a little bit left, a little bit of an answer when challenge comes.
Just enough. Just enough. 5, 6, 1, 7, and 6 at Aqueduct. We'll have those results. As for star jockey Jose Ortiz, spending the winter in New York for the first time in 6 years. They're working out so far. 3 wins yesterday, including a stakes tally, and later today, Ortiz to pilot the Queens County favorite Mystic Knight, just getting started on America's Day at the Races.
Grade 1 winner and track record setter Lee. Like their sire, his runners have excelled on both dirt and turf, including these standout performers.
Leading by 3, Gibberish and Dylan Davis.
Out of a Galileo mare, this dual surface star has sired juvenile stakes winners on both dirt and turf. Lee, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Welcome back to America's Day at the Races. Gorgeous Sunday afternoon, blustery Sunday afternoon in South Ozone Park, New York. Aqueduct Racing, we just saw the 6th. Desperate late for the favorite, but she's able to hold on. Maiden Beauty, Kendrick Carmouche, 2 wins on the afternoon. Results forthcoming. You can also follow along, get all the stats on the horses, trainers, jockeys in today's races with free Equibase Pass performances. Visit NYRA.com/TV schedule to download your free PPs on all the races. On today's show, thumbs up, Kendrick Carmouche, 2nd win on the afternoon.
And Kendrick, just a good positional rider, guy who's a good gate rider, but I think Jonathan Kinchin said it right when he said he's not just a speed rider. He is adaptable. He fits the horses. Your best riders fit horses' styles. They don't make horses fit their styles.
How frustrating is it as a rider if you get pigeonholed?
Oh, it's very frustrating because you know you're so much more than one thing, and people get this idea about you. Now, some riders have made a career out of kind of capitalizing on people's idea. Oh, yeah, I'm a speed rider. Put me on all speed horses. But, yeah, you want to be a well-rounded rider, ride turf, dirt, different race courses. But Kendrick's a strong finisher as well. Tell you what, I've been impressed with Trevor McCarthy, the way he finishes on a horse. A taller rider, much like myself, much like his dad, Mike McCarthy, who is a terrific rider. I like riders that finish strong. That's why one of the guys I always idolized was a gentleman named Lafitte Pincay.
He had a strong left hand. Strong left hand.
And you knew that firsthand.
Maiden Beauty does it very differently than her daddy used to. Revolutionary, deep closer, one-time third-place finisher in the Derby. She does her best work on the front end. When we return, first look at Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort. On-site coverage, 6 races remain. Late pick 5. Caddo River returns in the 8th. We'll set up the 4th when America's Day of the Races continues.
I bought a Tapper colt at the Keeneland September sale and incredibly excited about that purchase. It was a colt that had plenty of size and scope and carried himself with a real presence that drew me to him.
I bought a Tapper colt out of Black Coronas at the Phasing 5th and July sale, out of a Curlin mare, big beautiful horse. We're real excited about him coming up in the spring.
Taprit, standing at Gainesway.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and NYRA Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With NYRA Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the NYRA Bets app or visit nyrabets.com.
Good Magic's in front. Good Magic pulls away from Solomini. Good Magic's gonna win his first race, and he's gonna do it in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Good Magic to the front of the field in the Toyota Bluegrass to win it. The champ is back. Good Magic in a good-looking performance.
800,000, 75, 875, 8.5. Pete, 775,000. Thank you.
Blood Horse Plus, available through bloodhorse.com, provides exclusive, timely, and unmatched content to subscribers, including Fox Sports, Blood Horse branded weekly programs, a detailed stakes winners section, behind-the-scenes videos from Blood Horse staff, on-demand access to deeper horse statistics, and a $5 monthly credit to equineline.com. Upgrade to Blood Horse Plus today.
Welcome back to America's Day at the Races, as always brought to you in part by Hillendale. Adelapa, first stop at Oaklawn Park, 4th race. Take a look at the field. This $30,000 claiming sprint fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and older. Updated odds on the sidebar there. Alberta Sun, the lone defection, field of 10. Post parade, Sapphire Royalty, number 2, Ricardo Santana, rides for the first time.
Ricardo Santana looking for his 2nd win on the day. A horse taking a little bit of a drop back in class where she's been successful at the $30,000 level. John Ortiz, 25% so far at the early Oaklawn stand.
That'll work. And the favorite, Sapphire Royalty. Chakra, now the non-factor, facing similar 9 days ago.
Yeah, it comes back quick turnaround, 9 days off a subpar effort.
Number 4, Take Charge Woman. Runaway winner at Remington last month. This will be much tougher.
This is much tougher, moving up double jump in class from 15 to 30. Remington Park Forum last year, early in the meet, held well at Oakland, but this filly's going to have to improve.
Bright sunny day in Hot Springs opposed to the last couple of days. You see Athena's song on the engine. Martin Garcia rides for the first time.
Yeah, Martin Garcia really kind of found his niche now in the Midwest. This is another filly, though, that's going to have to find a race that I haven't seen from her yet.
I read Lady Shipman last night at first glance. Lady Shipman. Lady Shaman. Lady Shipman would be not 4-1 in this one. Winless in 7 races this year. Lady Shaman, there she is.
Yeah, and it's coming off a little bit of a freshening, poor race on turf last time. Has races good enough to be very competitive here.
David Cabrera aboard, 4-1. Number 7, Isabella. South Carolina bred, don't see that too often.
South Carolina bred, coming from Laurel, another jurisdiction we're seeing at Oakland Park. Horses coming from every place.
Number 8, parking in the rear. Can't phase John Court. Hit the ground last time he rode this filly. Takes the call again.
Yeah, it was back in April. You forget about those things pretty quickly. But her other races were okay.
Number 9, Presley. Arkansas bred is a 2-time winner here.
The Arkansas bred in open company, kind of deeper end of the gene pool. Only 150 Arkansas breds roughly a year bred in the state.
Rockstar Parking, first after the claims, Brianna Contreras.
Yeah, for a nice win at Indiana Grand.
Lachita on the outside. Francisco Arrieta with a pair of wins yesterday.
A horse that at times can show high speeds. He could be a part of the pace.
That's the field. 4th race. Post time at Oakland. Have a couple minutes as we check in with the Hall of Fame jockey Gary Stevens standing by. Gary, set the scene for us.
Bright but chilly day here in Hot Springs, Arkansas. It was chillier this morning, about 32 degrees. It's warmed up into the low 40s right now. A little bit of a breeze. Good racetrack and good racing all day long. Competitive groups of horses. Wide open race right here, kicking things off. Sapphire Royalty with Ricardo Santana, as Richie mentioned, already is 1-1 on the card. John Ortiz and Ricardo have been a potent pair when teamed up together. But a slight favorite right now. Looking forward to our feature race today. Caddo River coming off the bench, off of the long layoff after winning the Smarty Jones last year at this mile distance. He won that race by 10 lengths. He's been lighting the racetrack up in the morning, so we've got that and a lot of other good racing to look forward to this afternoon, guys.
Sun's out. Temperature clearly dropped out at Oaklawn Park. Gary Stevens, thanks so much. And yeah, we're looking forward to the return, Richie, of Caddo River, a 3-year-old prospect on the Derby Trail last year, earlier this spring, I should say, for trainer Brad Cox. And Brad Cox made it very clear, based on what he sees from Caddo River today, that'll determine essentially what direction they go with him moving forward into his 4-year-old campaign.
As far as stretching out in distance or keeping him in shorter distances, he's a horse that's always been speedy. I'm curious to see how he's matured. You know, when we saw him, it was early in his 3-year-old year. I liken that to high school athletes. Now he's more of a college athlete or a college athlete turning pro from a maturity standpoint. If we see a bigger, stronger Caddo River, that could bode very well because he showed a great deal of precocity and ability early in his career.
You wonder what the race shape, and it goes off into a completely different direction, a tangent, that conversation. If Caddo River would have run in the Kentucky Derby, how different the race looks. He got sick before the Derby. The plan was to run. He was the anticipated speed on paper. He didn't run. Late Medina Spirit made the lead, went wire to wire. Just amazing how that one defection changed the complexion of the Derby and how it factored in the outcome. The return today of Caddo River later today at Oaklawn. Final thoughts for this 4th race, though, from Jonathan Kitchen.
LP, I'm gonna talk a little bit about the 8 parking in the rear. This is a horse that is coming in off a layoff, has not run since April, but this horse has won twice off a layoff. I like horses that run well fresh.
See how he performs as they file into the gate. Take Charge Women steps forward. All set. These fillies and mares, $30,000 claimers. From Oaklawn Park, Vic Stauffer with the remainder of the load and call. It is post time.
The last 2 to load after Presley are Lady Shaman and Lachita. They're at the post. They're off. Sapphire Royalty breaks well. So does Presley in the center and Lachita. These three are quickest. Then comes Shakara, followed by Lady Shaman and At the Rail Take Charge Woman. Next goes Rockstar Parking. Parking in the rear was away awkwardly, joined by Isabella, and the trailer is Athena's Song. Sapphire Royalty just quickest up the backstretch from Lachita and between horses Shakara. These three now sprint far clear. They are 5 lengths in front of Take Charge Woman to the outside and Rockstar Parking. And here's Rockstar Parking up after the leaders. It's 2.5 lengths further back to Parking in the rear. Presley has dropped out. Isabella has 10 lengths to make up. Athena's Song and Rockstar Parking is on a roll. Here comes Rockstar Parking outside of Sapphire Royalty, and Rockstar Parking and Sapphire Royalty are 1-2. Then comes Lachita. Isabella's coming up the fence, but still 4 lengths behind, and Rockstar Parking is the new leader. It is Rockstar Parking in front. Isabella continues to close through from the inside, and she's got a chance. Rockstar Parking, here comes Isabella to win. Isabella won by 1 length and 3/4. Rockstar Parking was second. Sapphire Royalty third. Close for fourth between Lachita and Athena's Song.
Vic Stauffer says Isabella has a chance. In the end, winds up running away from this field, Richie, putting away Rockstar Parking in this 4th race at Oaklawn.
We just got a dream run up the rail. Just came with this relentless rally. And this is the 2nd win of the day for this apprentice. Geraldo, I don't know, you have his first name
John
there?
Geraldo.
Sorry, John Geraldo. Nice ride from him, his 2nd win of the day. And boy, it's nice when you get that easy pass run, that clear run along the fence. You get to save all the ground, and you never have to stop.
Open wide up. An exciting finish here. Isabella, results forthcoming in that 4th race at Oaklawn. Here at Aqueduct, getting set for the first of 2 stakes races. The Gravesend coming up here, Richie. But let's start with the name. What is the influence of the name, the Gravesend?
Well, Gravesend Racetrack was in the Gravesend section of Brooklyn, a neighborhood I know well because I grew up in Gravesend. And it was a racetrack that ran between Ocean Parkway and what is now McDonald Avenue. Back then it was Gravesend Avenue. And it actually was a turf race course. It was not a dirt course. They kind of laid it out in a huge open field and made a race course there, and a lot of great horses ran. It was open from 1886 to 1910. And a deep history at Gravesend Racetrack.
I think most would lose that bar bet. Just how many racetracks once occupied New York City?
Well, it's incredible. At one point, there were 4 in Brooklyn alone. You had Sheepshead Bay, Brighton Beach, Coney Island, Gravesend. You had 3 up in the Bronx. I mean, it's a big, rich history of racetracks in New York.
The legacy continues with the Gravesend. 63rd running, 3-year-olds and older, sprinting 3/4 of a mile, $100,000 purse. Case you're just wondering where Craig is. He's out. Odds-on morning line favorite scratched this morning. So Jackson Traveler drawn inside 3-2. Chateau on the outside at 9-5 with the horses in the paddock for the first of 2 stakes races in the Gravesend. Let's see how they look in the paddock. To our eyes in the paddock, Maggie Wolfendale standing by with this Gravesend paddock report. Maggie.
Thanks, Lafitte. And we'll take a look at your current favorite. That's the Maryland-bred Jackson Traveler here. And, well, I didn't necessarily love his form coming into this effort as you go back to that sprint stake at Mahoning Valley. And the horse he battled with the whole way, Baron, actually put him away and very gamely and resolutely finished second, only to be, like I said, run down by a 56-1 shot, rolling like a freight train in the middle of the racetrack. So Jackson Traveler, it needs to be said that he came up a bit short, I thought, in that last race. But physically, each time I see him, this horse takes a step forward. He's this big, buff boy now, and just so well muscled. He continues to fill out throughout this 3-year-old year, and I just love to see that with these younger types of horses. Now, this is his first try against older company today, and some gritty older veterans to boot, but physically, he matches up well with them, as we'll take a look at the layoff runner, the 6-year-old. That's number 2, Majestic Dunhill. Throughout this horse's career, George Weaver has done a phenomenal job job at pinpointing 7 furlong races on the dirt, because that's what this horse is. I just don't think he's ultimately fast enough to be effective at the 6 furlongs. And while he looks great coming off the bench, he looks fit, he looks strong, he looks everything you want, he's just not acting the way I want him to do the 6 furlongs. He's just a little bit quiet. I've seen him be sharper prior to efforts, and he's going to have to be successful at the 6. The horse I'm most interested in is number 4, Drafted. I think he looks phenomenal here in the paddock, 4th off the bench. He had trouble in the first race back. He had races dominated on the front end in his subsequent 2. We'll see. Hopefully he gets a little pace to run into today.
That's how I know when it's cold in New York, Richie. I don't go online, look up the weather, meteorologist, when Maggie breaks out the hat.
Well, that hat came out. You knew it was cold here. We saw Gary Stevens with the hat in Oakland. It's wintertime.
I don't feel bad for Gary, but chivalry is dead. Maggie out braving the elements. We're in here where it's like 75. Post-parade for the Gravesend. You saw Jackson Traveler, Majestic Dunhill, Wendell Fong blasted by Wonder Where Craig Is in the Bold Ruler.
Yeah, he gets a lot of pace to run at today, potentially with the 1 Jackson Traveler and the 6 Chateau maybe getting together.
Drafted. Last win, March 2019 in Dubai.
I like him 4th off the layoff here. I just think this horse is going to get pace to run at. Last time he didn't break very sharp, but he closed well.
Mike Dubb, co-owner of Wonder Where Craig Is, still has a shot, represented by Chateau.
Chateau does his best running when he's on the lead. He got very loose last time off a bit of a freshening. Really had no excuses in the fall high weight, and he's got to deal with other speed today, and that's down on the inside of the 1 Jackson Traveler.
Sprinters in the Gravesend field of 5 now with about 4 minutes to post. And a heads up, you can earn a $20 bonus today when you bet with Naira Bets. Bet $50 each at Aqueduct, Fairgrounds, and Oaklawn Park and earn a $20 bonus. Win or lose, visit NairaBets.com for promotional details and to opt in. 50-50-50 Aqueduct, Fairgrounds, and Oaklawn. 4 minutes out till this Gravesend. JK, who gets their picture taken?
Look, I'm going to go with our man Kendrick Harmouche and the 6 Chateau. This is a horse that Kendrick knows well. I had Kendrick on my podcast earlier this year, I think is when it was, and we talked a little bit about Chateau, and he talked about how at Belmont, Chateau can get lost a little bit. He doesn't really like those big turns. He likes tighter turns at Aqueduct, and expect when you're watching this to watch him open up a little bit on the turn. There's no question, in my opinion, that he's the fastest horse, and one of the reasons I believe that, especially early, is because of his pace figures. Pace figures are a numerical number that tells you how fast a horse ran early. A speed figure is basically the final time, how fast the final race was. So Chateau's last race wasn't particularly fast from a final figure standpoint, but it was extremely fast from a pace figure early standpoint. That was off of a layoff. I expect him to run much better this time around, and it's going to be a nice example of catch me if you can. And if you're one of those Kendrick only can go to the front guys, this is going to be an annoying race for the rest of us because you're going to probably be right.
Is that your award-winning podcast, JK? Two-time award-winning podcast.
So nice of you to mention.
America's Best Racing.
It is.
People's Choice Award, Fans Choice Award, JK podcast, in the money, great stuff. JK going with Chateau towards the outside, but Jackson Traveler, the Maryland bred, Richie, and Jackson Traveler can't be too disappointed. It doesn't have to deal with the likes of Wonder Where Craig Is, especially when you consider if he does win this Gravesend, he would move into 3rd in terms of earnings for an individual horse for Maryland breds here in 2021. I mean, he's way behind Nick's Go, but still, he would move into 3rd for Maryland bred earnings.
Well, Maryland breds have had a very strong year. Two Breeders' Cup winners, obviously Nick's Go and Aloha West.
Yeah.
And they breed good horses in Maryland. A lot of great horsemen and women come out of Maryland. Jackson Traveler's beautiful son of Munnings. He is just an outstanding-looking individual, and he has a lot to say about how this race is going to run and how soft or easy Chateau gets things on the lead.
West Point Thoroughbred colors, Steve Asmussen, Jackson Traveler, number 4, Drafted. You and Maggie on the same page here.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of this horse. I just think he finally gets the kind of setup he needs. Last time he ran well. He was second best, but he didn't break particularly well. kind of had to make up some ground in the middle of the race that maybe if he had broken a little bit cleaner. And one of the things that Jonathan talks about when a horse closes into a slow pace, well, 23, 46, and 1 for 6 furlongs at Aqueduct on a regular day. Today the track's on the dull side. You're gonna see them kind of yield slower times. But I think that was a slow pace on the day. They finished up the last 8th and 12 and change, and this horse was closing, so he closed into a slow pace. I think maybe Drafted finally gets everything put together today.
And Maggie, number 6, Chateau, now at 8-5, owned by Mike Dubb, who won this race last year with Pete's play call.
That he did. See if he wins it here again. Chateau is one of the frustrating horses for me because you think a horse that fast, they typically are sharp, kind of bounce on his toes. He's not. He never is. I've seen him look better than what he does today. Granted, I was not in the paddock going back for the fall high weight. I would have loved to see what he looked like then. Just looks a bit dull in his coat, a bit just not the good Chateau that I have seen in the past. But then again, sometimes it really doesn't matter what I think of Chateau. It's just if he can last. So we'll see what he does. Like I mentioned, I'm not as big a fan, but I totally agree with Richie. And to boot, with regards to Drafted, 2 back, he was wide against a very strong rail too. So I really like Drafted here, Lafitte.
At 5-2, Maggie, with Dylan Davis Drafted. Final thoughts, Mig, what are we looking for early?
It just depends on who's going to the lead. Is it going to be contested, or is somebody going to get loose? And if anybody gets loose, it'll be the 6, Chateau.
Chateau on the outside, owner Mike Dubb looking for back-to-back wins in the Gravesend. Drafted the gray, steps forward looking for his first win in a long time. Kendrick Carmouche seeking back-to-back wins in what would be a 3rd on the afternoon. Post time for the 2021 Gravesend Live. From Aqueduct, here's Chris Griffin.
Fractious there, Jackson Traveler now settles. And they're off, and hopping in the air at the start was Majestic Dunhill at the back of the field. Chateau has got speed from the outside, and Jackson Traveler, and Chateau will clear, is up by a length and a half. Jackson Traveler is in second, big gap of 3 already to Wendell Fong. Drafted is the gray, second to last, and after the start, Majestic Dunhill is the trailer. They work up the backstretch. Chateau has got the lead. Jackson Traveler stalking right there in second, therefore clear. Wendell Fong and Drafted is trying to pick up a position, is challenging for third. Majestic Dunhill still the trailer. 23.30 measured opening quarter here for Chateau. In hand has got the lead, is up by a length and a half. Jackson Traveler continues to chase this leader. They're still 3.5 clear from Drafted, who's taken third. Majestic Dunhill to the inside of Wendell Fong, who's tailing off at the back of the field. They approach the quarter-mile pole. Chateau has still got the lead. Jackson Traveler up on the outside. Chateau has got more to the inside, 47.22, a half-mile time. Jackson Traveler continues to pursue. Chateau reaches the 8th pole, is still a length and a half in front. Jackson Traveler is trying to make up the ground. Chateau and Jackson Traveler. Drafted is third. Chateau just keeps on finding. Chateau will win the Gravesend. Chateau clears away and wins. Then comes Jackson Traveler and Drafted and Majestic Dunhill in 1 minute 11.26.
Kendrick Carmouche in a groove on this Sunday afternoon at the Big A. Chateau for owner Mike Dubb. Back-to-back wins in the Gravesend.
Chateau had all his speed intact, outran Jackson Traveler. Jackson Traveler switched out to his outside. Kendrick Carmouche says, okay, now we're going to stay in about the 5 or 6 path. A lot of race riding going on. People avoiding the inside portion of the course today. But Chateau, like a fine wine, continues to get better. A soon-to-be 7-year-old still has that smooth, long finish.
Chateau running away from Jackson Traveler. 6-1-4 in the Gravesend. Kendrick Carmouche, 3 wins on the afternoon, and as you mentioned, staying well off the rail in about the 5 path.
He was out in the 5 path. Jackson Traveler was then out in the 6 path, and Kendrick Carmouche, did this by design. I am on the fastest horse. Let me kind of take it away from you, but then I'm going to park out in this position because I want ownership of the best part of the racetrack. It just seems like today the track is on the dull side. It's yielding slower times. These are very fast horses. 3/4 and 11 and a 5th is very fast for the day, but not fast for these horses. And I just think when a rider's paying attention, this is the result. You take advantage of all of the things that you have to learn from. Watching races, riding races, the rail's dead. But I like what he did at the break, Lafitte. He came over and took it away from Jackson Traveler, forced him to come outside of him, then parked him out wide. Didn't allow him to rush up and dictate the race.
Beautifully ridden. A third win on the afternoon. Kendrick Carmouche Chateau. Owner Mike Dubb, another win in the Gravesend for trainer Rob Atris, the 6-year-old gelding, his 8th career victory, 6 of them here at Aqueduct. Those results coming up. Also, he wins a lot of races with horses that figured. Todd Pletcher, but last spring pulled off one of the biggest upsets in Aqueduct history. Bourbonic, 72-1 Wood Memorial shocker, but he hasn't won since. Maybe that changes today.
Smile Happy was a TDN rising star following his maiden win at Keeneland. From there, he captured the Grade 2 Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes to remain undefeated and earning points toward the Kentucky Derby. In Future Pool 1, Smile Happy was individual leader by lowest odds. Among the top of his crop by stakes winners and earnings, Run Happy continues his rise and is priced for success. Call today and book your mare to Red Hot Sire Run Happy, standing in legendary Stall 1 at Claiborne Farm.
Welcome back to America's Day at the Races on this Sunday afternoon, as always, brought to you in part by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual, unusually well. A lot of history in this Gravesend Stakes and this $100,000 event taken down by Chateau on this afternoon. And for Kendrick Carmouche, lots to smile about on this Sunday afternoon.
Having a good day, third win of the day and taking down a stake, and he's not done yet.
Not done yet. Carmouche here, 520 Chateau, 8-5. Again, for owner Mike Dubb, owned Pete's Play Call, last year's winner. Also owner of Chateau over Jackson Traveler, 6-1-4 in the Gravesend. Down to Maggie with winning pilot Kendrick Carmouche.
With the hot hand today, Kendrick Carmouche, and a horse that you have a lot of success with, and a horse that's just free running. Kendrick, you had to be really pleased when you saw the scratch of Wonder Where Craig is today.
Yeah, you know, that helped out a whole lot. You know, not saying that he's faster than my horse, but I know my horse is a one-lick horse, and he loved Aqueduct. And for the last week, the track been really tight, and that was going to play in my favor today. I just had to stay wide because I don't think the inside is too good. And Rob had this horse ready to run today. I'm just, you know, being a pilot, just break and let him roll, baby.
You're on a roll, so to speak, as third win in a row. Looking forward to the Queens County horse that you've had a lot of success with, too, in Bourbonic. How did you get the win with him today?
You know, I told Todd last time when I rode him, I think, you know, he's just too relaxed now. He's into his system now, you know. I really think you should do a Palace Malice on him and take the blinkers off and win the Belmont like he did years ago, you know. So, you know, we're going to see if it worked today. Hopefully it works in our favor and we can get to the winner's circle.
All right, Kendrick, best of luck. Hopefully it's 4 for 4.
You got it.
All right, Kendrick Carmouche with this win aboard Chateau, a horse that he definitely has a nice rapport with as they take the Gravesend. Lafitte?
Just take the blinkers off, win the Belmont like you did with Palace Malice. That is brilliant. Bourbonic. Carmouche will try for a stakes week. Bourbonic was not won since that 72-1 shocker in the Wood Memorial last spring. so confident, regardless of what the odds might be, what a horse looks like on paper. Every time he gets a leg up, he gets a sense that he thinks that he can win that particular race.
Well, that gives every opportunity to a horse to give his best. You put him in a position to win, and horses feed on energy. Positive energy, you're going to win more races because horses are going to feed on that positive energy.
And you talked about that versatility. If he's going to win that Queens County, completely different strategy. While the winner there, wire to wire, essentially Chateau. Bourbonic does his best running when he runs his best from far, far back. Here's what we've seen thus far. Reigning Chick in this late pick 5, turning it all upside down. 34-40 shocker there. It's been formful since with Maiden Beauty, the favorite, and Chateau in the Gravesend. We'll have much more on the Queens County Stakes. Co-feature Aqueduct. Meantime, Oaklawn. Field for the 5th in Hot Springs. Remember, this is the start of the late pick 5. 2-year-old fillies in this $50,000 maiden claiming event. 3/4 of a mile sprint. Updated odds and a post parade starting with number 1 race day attire. Much needed class drop, Mig, at the maiden special weight level in her first 2 starts.
Gets class relief, showed brief speed last time before stopping, gets the addition of Lasix today. That could be a factor as well.
Blame Nelly, pictured, first-time starter.
For Larry Jones, a trainer that does very well with fillies and first-time starters, taking a little bit of money.
Number 3, Dare Me, first-time starter for Full of Fun Racing, Full of Run Racing, and Brad Cox.
And you've got Florent Giroux for Brad Cox, strong connections. 4-1, though, ironically enough, horse taking money, but for these connections, it's actually a little tepid.
Several wins with 2-year-olds over the weekend. Looks good on the track, Dare Me. Then Miss Yum Yum, the most experienced filly in the field, a 5-race maiden.
Yeah, and she's dropping in class here, but has races that are certainly good enough, and she's got a lot of foundation.
Rowdy Daisy, debuting homebred for Toby Keith's Dream Walkin' Farm.
Yeah, not taking any money, but the mare is a producer, 4 winners, and she did produce a debut winner, so you like to see when they throw precocity in the family.
Cold on the board, as you mentioned, 29-1. And number 6, Perfect Mistress, now in Rudy Brissett's stable, very even in her first 3 races.
Yeah, but comes out of a good bond, Fausto Gutierrez, a good trainer, and moving up in class here.
Skipped over to Wild Business, and Giovanni Franco with 3 wins yesterday, rides the first-time starter. We'll check in with Gary Stevens, his agent, very shortly. Here's number 8 in Pacific Grove. First after the claim, John Ortiz and Ricardo Santana.
John Ortiz doing a terrific job at Oaklawn Park, actually having, to me, kind of a breakthrough year. Ricardo Santana winning races.
Emmy Tiaz, number 9 at 9-1 currently, and bred for precocity by champion Nyquist. Just haven't seen it yet. Keen contender with Alex Conchari.
Yeah, keen contender. It's coming out of Gulfstream Park. Race on the turf last time. Back, dropping down on the dirt.
You saw the favorite, Zmuda. More on her shortly. Trying to make out who that is. Number 6, Perfect Mistress. There she is with Christian Torres.
Yeah, Perfect Mistress. Again, that's the one we talked about, going from Fausto Gutierrez to Rhoda Brissett.
Game of Inches would be a big surprise.
Would be a big surprise. Debuted on turf, was well beaten. It's going to have to show a lot more.
That was a fun post parade. 5th race here at Oaklawn. 2-year-old filly started the late pick 5. We check in with Gary Stevens. Gary, Ricardo Santana riding Pacific Grove here for John Ortiz. What has Santana shown you in the first couple weeks of the meet here?
Well, let's back up to Saratoga and the meet that he had at Saratoga with 7 Grade 1 winners. Lots of maiden winners for Steve Asmussen. Then they moved on to Keeneland Fall, and he went 0 for, it was like 85. And it wasn't just him, it was the whole barn. And you can feel things start to go south a little bit. And I think Richie brought up a good point here just a few minutes ago, talking about that positive energy and getting a smile on your face and relieved, and that positive energy flows over. And that's what I've noticed. He's riding like a happy jock right now. He's not worried about anything. He's just letting things unfold the way that they may. And he's riding great right now. Haven't seen him ride any better, to be honest with you. He's back in the form he was at Saratoga. Pacific Grove, getting bet a little bit here right now. Currently at 9-1 for John Ortiz, but the filly to beat for sure is Zamuda. Bet down to 2-1 for Kenny McPeak. When he drops these horses that have been running maiden special in for a price tag for the first time, it's usually very, very effective. And then we should talk about the 3-horse Dare Me, a first-time starter for Brad Cox by Daredevil, who gets, he's a win early type sire. They're speedy, they're precocious, and she's getting bet, knocked down slightly from her 9-1 morning odds at 4-1. So plenty of interest here. But again, I would have to go with Zamuda with this price drop for Kenny McPeak.
The class drop, Zamuda, Gary, and that's what she has in her corner, the experience. Where Dare Me pictured, this will be her first time, her first career start, but Zamuda, JK, pictured favored at 2-1, trying to graduate in her 4th career start for Kenny McPeak.
Yeah, look, I'll be quick. She's got everything going in her favor, right? If you look at the other first-time starters, none of them are taking a lot of money. If you look at the horses that have run, they're about 15 buyer speed points, figure points behind Zamuda. And also, Zamuda is second off a layoff where she hadn't run in some time before her last start. And she's dropping from maiden special weight to maiden claimers. And while we're at it, she's drawn outside. I think she's going to get her picture taken here. I just don't. If someone else wins, I can't tell you who it's going to be.
Several positive angles working, Richie, for Zamuda.
Oh, absolutely. She looks formidable. That's a big drop in class. When you're going from maiden allowance, maiden special weight company, those are horses that people have high hopes for. There's a future. They're looking to see if they can break their maiden, go on, potentially become stake horses. When they drop to a maiden claiming level, they've kind of come to the realization, well, they're not going to be the upper echelon of the sport. Let's put them in a more realistic spot. And you're not going to face those horses that potentially could go on to stardom. That's what you're getting in maiden allowance races. I think she's going to be very formidable. A horse that I'm a little bit interested in, and one thing I've noticed at Oaklawn Park, Lafitte, is there's a lot of value in exactas there. I mean, the exactas seem to pay very generously there. I think the 9, Emidiaz, is a player here. She ran first time out for maiden 50. She was beaten 4 lengths, and she ran well for a trainer, Danny Pites, who's a terrific horseman, who doesn't crank his horses up to win first time. It seemed like, wow, that's a race to build on. They moved her up in company to that maiden allowance, company that we talk about, going 7 furlongs, and she got, just drubbed. She couldn't compete there. They're back for maiden 50, where she ran well first time, and if she shows any improvement from that first start, I think she's got a chance to hit the board at 12-1. And the other thing that people should know, Danny Pites, again, terrific horseman. He's an Arkansas native. He loves to go down there and do well. He's like it's a homecoming for him.
Sure.
And he puts his best foot forward. So I think this filly, the 9 filly, has a chance to hit the board at a big price. And maybe it's the one you use underneath the 11, trying to get your value in your exacta.
By a Derby winner and a 2-year-old champion in Nyquist, so bred for precocity, just waiting to see it from her, and maybe today will be the day. At a price at 13-1. We were looking at number 1, Race Day Attire. Maybe we can get another look at her. She is drawn inside, but get Lasix today, and Speed, another one dropping in class as well.
Yeah, and the addition of Lasix is the key for me. Some horses need it. It keeps them from having that, the pulmonary problems that can come on when horses are under exercise-induced stress. And when a horse is as fast as she was in her second start, maybe that was one of the factors of why she threw in the towel so early. Lasix potentially could help her maintain that speed for a longer period of time.
You touched on the fact that with Brad Cox, if he has a live first-time starter, you're going to see the money's going to show up, right? So with the debuting filly by Daredevil in Dare Me, because it's Brad Cox, 3-1, 4-1, almost feels cold. I feel like we had the same conversation yesterday with a Steve Asmussen first-time starter at 9-1, and she ran a bang-up second in her effort. Dare Me, you're talking about these connections, how well they're going right now, how well they're always going. There she is. Giroux, Brad Cox at 3-1 on a first-time starter. It's pretty good.
Yeah, but the money has been steadily coming in. And what I do like about Dare Me, other than the connections, which is obvious, look at the work tab. Important to look at spacing of works. Look at that more than times when they work every 6-7 days, give or take a day, because you got to allow for weather. Consistently, that tells me they're a healthy horse. Their training has been uninterrupted.
2-year-old fillies to kick off the late pick 5 at Oaklawn. Post time for the 5th. Vic Stauffer standing by.
Mistress and Game of Inches. They're at the post. They're off. Good start for Miss Yum Yum, who goes for the front from Rowdy Daisy and Dare Me. Zamuda breaks a close fourth. Then comes Blame Nelly at the rail. Perfect Mistress and Race Day Attire are next, then Pacific Grove and Game of Inches with Keen Contender and Emity Oz, and the trailer is Wild Business. A scramble on up the backstretch. Dare Me just in front. Rowdy Daisy, Miss Yum Yum in that mix. Tightly at the rail and may have to get out of there is Blame Nelly. Zamuda is moving up outside and 4 wide. Just inside of her is Perfect Mistress. A real scramble on about 7 horses separated by 3 lengths around the far turn. 3 back to Emity Oz, followed by Pacific Grove, Game of Inches, and Wild Business top of the stretch. And here comes a 4 wide Zamuda to challenge for the front. Rowdy Daisy tries to go with her. Meanwhile, Dare Me's at the rail, Miss Yum Yum, and between horses, Race Day Attire, 5 across the racetrack. They come to the final furlong, and Dare Me has the lead. Race Day Attire splits horses. Zamuda to the outside, and Dare Me is the leader. It is Dare Me in front. Race Day Attire, Zamuda in the center. Dare Me, Race Day Attire, and Zamuda. Dare Me in front. Dare Me won by 2. Zamuda just beat Race Day Attire for second, and finishing fourth was either Miss Yum Yum or Blame Nelly.
Dare Me is victorious on debut for Full of Run Racing. Brad Cox, Florent Giroux. The concern here over Fallen Rider, Fallen Apprentice, Kylie Jordan. A spill there and about mid-stretch in this 5th race at Oaklawn. Gary Stevens on site. Any update on her condition? We'll go ahead and pass that along. Richie, it happened very quickly. What did you notice?
It happened very quickly. It was kind of when they're coming out of that shadow there up at the top of the stretch. So I really didn't see exactly what happened. It looked like she got off balance somehow. And it looked like for a second she might stay on and then realize, well, I'm not going to, and just kind of almost allowed herself maybe to fall off to the right. But I really didn't see what precipitated that, Lafitte.
As soon as we have an update, we'll pass that along. Dare Me, the winning filly, graduating on debut in the 5th race at Oaklawn. Meanwhile, here right behind us, the second of 2 stakes races on a Sunday afternoon. Field of 9 in the Queens County Stakes. You see the updated odds. This is the 116th running. 3-year-olds and older running a mile and an eighth, $125,000 purse. Mystic Knight at 3-2. The familiar name, the household name, though, number 3, Bourbonic at 4-1. He was not 4-1 on this afternoon. We go back to last spring in the Wood Memorial. Bourbonic at 72-1, rallying from off the pace in the biggest upset, Richie Migliori, in Wood Memorial history.
This was a huge upset. He was basically in Kings County when everybody else was in Queens County turning for home, and he came rallying down the center track, and really not a lot of pace on this day, but the track was on the dull side. Very, very reminiscent of the racetrack we have today. A track without a lot of life to it, or not a lot of bounce to it, where horses are yielding slower times. Maybe Bourbonic is getting the racetrack that he relishes, a track that plays to a horse that has more stamina than speed, which is his way of going.
And you have to give Brad Kelly of Calumet Farm a lot of credit. Never afraid to run his horses in big races, regardless of the odds, right? He's willing to take a shot. And on that particular afternoon, paid off in a big way, 72-1. Bourbonic in the Wood Memorial. He has not won since, but who cares? He's a Wood Memorial winner and a part of history, and competing in this Queen County Stakes. You'll see him in the post parade. There's Your To Blame, co-owned by Mike Dubb. Dubb looking for a stake sweep.
Yeah, Michael Dubb, certainly a guy who just knows the kind of races that horses belong, and this horse belongs. He's a hard knocker, gets win rider back, Dylan Davis.
Backside of the moon, the defending Queens County winner.
I have a soft spot for this horse. I won the Santa Lucia on his dam, Bellatos Thunder, for Rafael Becerra at Santa Anita.
Very nice. There he is, Bourbonic. He's like the 1980 U.S. hockey team of thoroughbred racing.
Boulder Major upset, looking for that kind of effort again, but he gets a racetrack that I think is very similar to Wood Memorial Day.
Ollie, my boy, Ontario bred, 2nd and 2 for Rob Atras.
Yeah, and, a horse that can have some speed, could be a part of the pace. Looks like it has a look of a long shot to me.
Sugar Ray 2, he's been marathoning.
Well, we saw second to Lone Rock. Lone Rock turned back in distance and successfully yesterday in the Tinsel, but this guy's going to have to improve.
Empty Tomb, 22-1 allowance winner here at last month.
When he was allowed to dictate the pace, do they go back to those tactics again?
Bal Harbour, back from California, where he ran 4th in the Grade 3 native diver at Del Mar.
Yeah, and a horse that has races that are good enough to be competitive here. He's not in a winning habit, but he certainly can run well here.
Good to see Javier Castellano, the Hall of Famer, on hand. Number 8, Mystic Knight, who is the favorite. Human Element intact. Peter Brandt, Three Chimneys, Chad Brown, Jose Ortiz.
Yeah, very, very strong connections. Horse been running very strong figures. Steps up into stakes company for the first time.
Forewarned, speaking of long shots, Uriah St. Louis owner trainer won the Jockey Club Gold Cup with a 45-1 shot Discreet Lover.
You know, it's always interesting. Uriah St. Louis runs these horses. They're big prices, but look at the earnings of a lot of his horses. His horses earn nearly $700,000, and he would like to see things get quick on the front end and come with a run.
Hard knockers. Looking forward to this one. Queens County Stakes in 3 minutes. Of course, you can always join us at Naira Bets. Use this promo code. Bonus 200 when signing up and earn up to a $200 deposit match after your first deposit. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Join now at nairabets.com to earn your $200 deposit match. We check in with Maggie.
And Lafitte, as you said, this is a field full of hard-knocking, venerable veterans, except the favorite is only making his 8th start of his career. We'll get to Mystic Knight in a moment, but taking a look at some of those veterans, including number 1, You're to Blame, who did ship down first off the claim for trainer Rab Atras in his first start for the barn, caught a sloppy track down at Churchill. He did kind of received the similar trip as the eventual winner, Bo Luminare, who did just finish 3rd behind Lone Rock and Thomas Shelby, kind of leaders of the marathon division yesterday in the Tinsel Stakes. But he was just on that wide pursuit throughout. This horse looks phenomenal today for Rob Atras, looking to go back-to-back for the same owner in here, Mike Dubb, Karen Murphy on this one too. But I like this horse on paper. I liked him even more once I saw him in the flesh and out on the racetrack. Number 2, Backside of the Moon, 57th start. This will be his last one in New York, at least, as they have enacted the rule that 10-year-olds are not allowed to compete here anymore. Talking to owner Charles Hallis, citing that he may look at other options of racetracks, but that he does have a farm and a spot always waiting for Backside of the Moon. But you couldn't ask this 9-year-old to look any better today. Pat Reynolds has really kind of resurrected this horse's career yet again. And while he doesn't love to win, to be fair, he's going to be there. He's going to show up today. But yes, his last win did come in this race last year. And then we'll take a look at your lightly raced favorite in number 8, Mystic Knight, the 4-year-old by Into Mischief. He's been the beaten favorite in his last 3. I thought it was just kind of an even effort last time. He's a horse that just grinds and gallops, and maybe that suits him on today's racetrack because he's not devoid of tactical speed. He looks good. I like what I'm seeing from him, a horse that sometimes will get a little light on you, especially behind. Not the case whatsoever today. One of his better physical appearances, and I do think getting back out to a mile and 1/8 helps his chances. As I know a guy who doesn't need any help as far as chances in handicapping. That's Mr. JK.
Well, I appreciate that. I haven't been called Mr. in a long time. I am getting old. You see the gray in the beard. The 8, Mystic Knight. This is a horse that it's never been a horse I've always been overly in love with. Actually, the type of horse I've often found myself trying to beat. He's never just been a wow type horse, but they always bet him as if he might be a wow type horse. The thing is with this group, though, he does have a little bit of a figure edge. And when you're looking at a group that's a little bit light on figures, you're trying to look for some creativity on how to beat a horse like a Mystic Knight. I just couldn't find anyone. There's no horses in here that had some crazy pace edge. The pace seems to be honest. There's no horse that was coming in off a bad trip that should run better this time around. The only other horse I could come up with really is the 2, Backside of the Moon. He has some numbers that kind of fit. He's a grindy type of horse that should appreciate the fact that there is some pace as well. In my pick 4s and pick 5s, all I used was a 2 and the 8. I think the 8's probably the winner. The 2, obviously, the value at 11-1.
Turning 10 in a few days, so his last start of his career here at Aqueduct, Backside of the Moon. Mystic Knight, Richie, at 6-5. I get it. And $500,000 purchase, finally a stakes debut. But as Maggie mentioned, a money burner. Defeated favorite in his last 3, and even when he does win, he had that win over Yankee Division back in March here at Aqueduct, but he's just grinding. There's no blast. There doesn't seem to be that killer instinct. I think that's why it's taken so long just to get into a stakes race.
Well, he beat You're to Blame a nose 2 starts back at Saratoga. You're to Blame is a much better price, isn't he?
Much. The favorite is in Mystic Knight. All set for this Queen County Stakes, far outside. Forewarned steps forward. Co-feature, post time for the Queens County Live from Aqueduct. Here's Chris Griffin.
And they're off. Backside of the Moon has early speed, so does Empty Tomb, and Bal Harbor is going to be in the early mix as well. Backside of the Moon wants the front. Jose Lescano hustles this front runner now, puts a nose in front of Empty Tomb, and they will fly early. They're 1-2. Bal Harbor is going to settle off of them in third. Then comes Mystic Knight, who's 3.5 lengths back there in fourth. Pink Cap, that's You're to Blame, who's going to be in the fifth spot with Sugar Ray 2. Forewarned is out in the center of the racetrack towards the back of the field. Ollie, my boy, second to last, and late-running Bourbonic can see them all. They work to the backstretch, and no easy leads here. Empty Tomb, Eric Ansell with a neck in front at the rail, backside of the Moon, who's now taken back to second. Bal Harbor is progressing out in the center of the racetrack in third. Mystic Knight with a nice trip is 4 lengths off the battling trio, gets closer now. Also moving forward is You're to Blame. From the back, Ollie, my boy, Forewarned, second to last under a drive is Sugar Ray 2, and Bourbonic will have to pass them all as they approach that half-mile pole. Half-mile time was 48.37 seconds in the Queens County, and here comes Backside of the Moon to re-engage this front runner. Backside of the Moon has put a nose back in front of Empty Tomb. It's been a nice journey here for Bal Harbor. Is going to search up 3 wide. Also following that move comes Mystic Knight. Also now drifting out wider comes Forewarned. Is going to rally there from 5th. Ollie, my boy, is under a drive. You're to Blame is not making up the ground. Bourbonic is launching a rally, but still double digits to make up with Sugar Ray 2 as they approach the quarter-mile pole. Empty Tomb with a nose in front, in between horses. Backside of the Moon won't go anywhere. Bal Harbor is not making